What's your favorite thing about Josh?
Josh Thiel is one of the biggest mentors I've ever had in my life, and I know that's not just me, that's many people. The biggest, what would you say, favorite thing? My favorite thing about Josh is his consistency in serving and the way he's always on top of it.
What is your favorite thing about Josh?
My favorite thing about Josh is probably just how even when he's kind of stern and serious, he still jokes around and keeps us in a light and happy mood. And I don't know, I just know that I can be super goofy with him, so I think that's probably my favorite thing.
What's your favorite thing about Josh?
My favorite thing about Josh is just how he's so joyful, and just every time I see him, he's just always in a good mood no matter what's going on. And whenever I'm in a bad mood, he just has a way of telling me, putting things in a different perspective that just makes me feel better about everything and helps me keep my eyes on the Lord.
What is your favorite thing about Josh?
There's so much to say. My favorite thing about Josh is just how he always loves to be with people, and he's never turned anyone down, and whenever we go on a serving trip, he's always hanging out with everyone, and I just really love how he's super friendly and he can get along with anyone.
What is one thing you've learned from Josh?
I've learned a lot of things. I've learned what the meaning of worship is, and how we're leaders in the worship. And I've also learned how to work with a team to lead that, and I didn't know how to do that before I came onto worship team with him.
What is one thing you've learned from Josh?
One thing I've learned from Josh is probably the way I look at worship has changed. It's no longer just I'm coming to play music with the youth group. It's now I'm leading a group of teenagers to worship God the way he was meant to be worshiped.
What's one thing you've learned from Josh?
I think one thing that I've learned from Josh and just being under his leadership is just to remember that whenever I go into a worship time that we're doing a priestly function, and I think that that's really easy to forget and just to think about oh, myself, me, but I just really appreciated how he always brought it back to Christ.
The thing I've learned from Josh is to have a higher regard for worship. Before Josh came along, I sang and thought about the words, but I never thought about worship as a priestly function as it talks about in the Bible. Josh has taught me to not only think about worship when you're singing the songs, but to think about it throughout the week.
The thing I'm gonna miss the most about Josh, I think just his character. He's so unique, and I think that he really brings a good flavor to us, and he really balances out the craziness of high schoolers versus just the calm, collected Josh man. I'm gonna miss that.
What's one thing you're gonna miss the most about Josh?
Sad question. One thing I think I'm gonna miss the most about Josh is just how comfortable I am around him. All of us are just so close, and he's just taught us all so much about what it means to worship and be in love with God. And so I think I'm just gonna miss everything, just joking around and all of us being super close and having worship team bonding days and stuff like that.
What is one thing you're gonna miss the most about Josh?
One thing I'm definitely gonna miss is just having him around. It's because we've become such close friends, and he's just become a big part of my life. And now that he's leaving, it's gonna be hard to not have him around.
What is the one thing you're gonna miss about Josh?
I'd have to say the thing I'm going to miss the most about Josh is his smile, and just how he's always super friendly. He'll never hesitate to crack a joke. That'll probably be the one thing that I'll miss the most about him.
What's one thing you're going to miss the most about Josh?
I'm gonna miss just his sense of humor. He jokes around all the time, and just the way that he leads worship, the way that he has brought this group so close together, and just how he gets all of us to focus on the worship and leading the songs, and rather than being nervous or anything, he helps us get our minds on God and that we're worshiping God, and that's something that I'm really gonna miss.
What's the one thing you're gonna miss the most about Josh?
I think Josh's leadership skills are exceptionally one of the best I've seen in anyone, but not only that, I'm gonna miss serving with him on a consistent basis, I would say.
What's one thing you're gonna miss the most about Josh?
The thing I'm going to miss the most is his leadership and the way he was able to pull a bunch of teenagers together and make a team to just lead our youth group in worship. And I'm really going to miss that.